Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kanyunyuzi Betty, but you can still call me Nyunyu. As we had said in our last video, the last video we were talking about plagiarism. So we talked about the types of plagiarism, how it is done, what it means. We talked about the 4 different types of plagiarism. So today we are back with solutions of how can we avoid, how can we reduce. Sometimes you cannot be perfect, but you can find ways of reducing something. So we are going to talk about some of the ways we can use to avoid or reduce on the levels of plagiarism we do, as when we are doing our work, when we are doing our research, when we are doing in anything we do, as long as it is assignment or some work given to us. We now want to find solutions on how we can reduce or avoid the excess plagiarism we do in the course of doing our work. So let's look at how we can and what we can do to reduce or avoid plagiarism. Here is our work. Let's look at what we can do to minimize and avoid the different types of plagiarism. How to avoid plagiarism by Kanyunyuzi Betty. The first slide. It says how to avoid plagiarism. First of all, or the note that should be taken on this is you should first understand the different types of plagiarism and how to avoid them. So in our previous video, we talked about the different types of plagiarism. Here we come with solutions on how to avoid each of the types of plagiarism we talked about previously. So the first one is direct plagiarism. This is where we said when you're copying someone's work word by word, but without citing, or you use someone's work but without citing their work, whether in text or in references. You don't show that the work you used had some ideas that were not originally yours. So some of the ways we can reduce the direct plagiarism are the use of quotation marks. You use quotation marks to quote someone's words, because in most cases you're copying word by word without changing anything. So if you're going to do that, you simply use quotation marks to show that the words in quotes were not your words, but were the words of the owner of the work or the owner of the source of work you used. The other solution is citing sources. When using exact phases. You use the exact phrase to cite your work, and you use it to show that some of the work in your assignment was not used, but there was a given source you used. Then here you will have avoided plagiarism, which is the direct type of plagiarism. So when we go to the second type of plagiarism we talked about, it was self, and we simply said this one it's your own work. You copy, like you hand in your own work for 2 different assignments. You may be given work that has similar approach, but instead of paraphrasing or changing some of your work to suit, like changing some of your work to appear different, you instead copy your previous work to the new assignment given. That is what we called self-plagiarism. And the ways we can avoid that, one is seeking permission from instructors. Like you first seek permission from instructors. You're like, I want to use the other work I used before. The second is paraphrasing your work from the previous one. If you had your work and you feel like it has the same idea as the other work you're given, you just paraphrase. You change, you put it in other words. You use synonyms, like they are the same words, but they are different words with the same meaning. So you try to paraphrase your work, not to fall form of plagiarism. Then the other one is cite your own work. You can use the exact work, but then after you cite it, because it was your work, you cite it and say it was your work. Then citing your own work, you will have sort of that problem of self-plagiarism. The other form of plagiarism we talked about was mosaic, and this is simply mixing up work and phrases of your own words and the source of information where you got your word, the source of information where you got your work. So the solution is simply paraphrasing thoroughly and citing all sources used. You have to cite all the sources used, that they used this source, and this source, so that the one who will collect your work will know that the work was not yours. However, you used someone's work to understand, but you phrased your own work. You know, you just pick an idea from someone's work, then you explain it in your own way, the way you understand it. So that is the way you will have to avoid mosaic plagiarism. And the other one was accidental plagiarism, where we say it happens without, it is not intentional, or it is not done on someone's purpose, but it just comes accidentally. As accidents happen, this is also an accidental plagiarism, where someone forgets to say it. It's not that the person does not want, but the person just forgets to say it. So the best way to solve this problem is by reviewing work to ensure all sources are properly credited. Do your work in time, then recheck. By reviewing your work, you will know your mistakes, you will know what you have to correct, and many more. Thereby, you will even remember to credit the owners or the sources where you got your work. And the other one was use of citation tools like plagiarism checkers to help you in formatting citations correctly. Sometimes you just need to use these, because when you use these tools, they will show you that you've not cited well, or you have not cited, you've forgotten. So it will help you to do your work correctly and perfectly as it is required. Those are the ways we can avoid accidental plagiarism. So let's go to the strategies to avoid plagiarism. And the first one is keep accurate records by recording all sources consulted. The other one is use of citation manager tools and plagiarism detector tools to know if you've made any mistakes, so that you can correct it before handing in your work. Use of quotation marks for direct quotes and cite sources accurately. This is mainly for the direct plagiarism. You have to use quotation marks because you're rating someone's words. You're not changing anything in their work. You're rating the words, you're copying the words exactly the way they were written by the owner. Meaning, if you want to avoid the direct, you have to use quotation marks to show someone that these words that are in quotes were not my words. Yeah, so that is the way that is a strategy, a main strategy for direct plagiarism. Then there was paraphrasing and summarizing others' ideas in your own words. You can read someone's work, you understand, then after understanding, you rewrite it in your own, you rephrase it in your own understanding. You rephrase it in your own words without copying the exact words from the source where you've gotten your work. Then there is understanding academic integrity strategies. Those are some of the strategies you have to avoid, you have to use for you to avoid plagiarism. Then finally, in conclusion, how to promote a commitment to academic honesty and integrity. That was the conclusion, and that is what I had for you today. So those are some of the ways we use for us to avoid plagiarism, the different types of plagiarism, or maybe reducing its extent, because some of us do it. I know most of us, even I personally, we do some of the things are not by our intentions, but they happen accidentally or because of the reckless carelessness sometimes we have when doing our work. So those are some of the solutions we can do to avoid plagiarism. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Thank you. I remain Betty Nyundu.